Midlife is often a time of questioning for both men and women. Suddenly, one day, you'll find yourself asking, what has my life been? What have I done? What have I accomplished? Have I made a difference in the world? That is just part of a life transition that starts somewhere around 55 to 65 years of age. It's a common process that occupies a person's mind for a season. However, I think it can be even stronger in men because of the critical nature of their internal voice. Men are taught at a young age to find their own solutions, so they turn inward to think things through. They tend to be self critical in the process, though no one else knows that. For much of his life, a man may have been telling himself, "You're not doing this good enough. You're not doing it right." As a result, he may not be able to do an accurate self evaluation because of that self critical voice that's actually in charge of the process. A man who doesn't think highly enough of himself is not any more accurate in his self assessment than is a woman who relies on what other people think of her. Of course, women are fed a lot of negative stuff as well, but generally speaking, it's not as socially acceptable for someone to be as rough on a woman as it is to be on a man. In fact, American culture and many other cultures are super critical of men. They learn to question themselves before taking action. And hopefully, a man does question himself before he takes action. We need him to be in control of all of his emotional and physical power, but we do not need him to be paralyzed by a sense of inadequacy. It's something that he's probably carried around the whole of his life. Before you jump on the bandwagon about how we should treat men more kindly, consider these two facts. Men are both emotionally more sensitive and physically stronger than women. They're better equipped to be the protectors of society, especially of their families. But that won't happen if they never learn to control both their powerful emotions and their powerful bodies. The payoff for all a man's hard work in disciplining himself? The respect and admiration of his wife, his children, and his community. Every man loves to be a hero. In fact, every man was born to be a hero. But he can't be a hero if he lacks self-control or if no one wants him to be a hero. You probably have questions about the process, but I'll save a longer discussion of this topic for another day and a much, much longer video. On the other hand, women are not encouraged to practice as much emotional self-control. In fact, we're encouraged to express our emotions freely, and therein lies the problem. Some of us tend to rely too heavily on how we feel at any given moment. So if unpleasant feelings come up as a woman is doing her life review, she might take those feelings as the truth about who she is and what she has or has not accomplished, which presents another problem. Again, a different subject to delve into more completely in another much, much longer video. Nevertheless, by the time a man hits midlife, he's got a whole stack of evidence behind him that says, "You're not so great, dude. You messed up too much for too long on too many things." This is his internal process. No one has permission to step in and say, let me do your tally sheet for you. I'll come to the conclusion for you. His life review is something he has to do for himself. The healthy outcome of a life review for men and women, after weighing both your successes and your failures, as well as taking time to put others' feedback into its proper context, is to realize that you actually did do some things pretty well. Now, it's not a math equation. It's never going to come out equal. And once you get to the conclusion, it's never going to come out equal, the math never adds up, then you can let it go and move on. But the other part of a life review is the fact that you only have so many years left. When we hit midlife, both men and women start counting how much time we've got left. That can be depressing if you've not forgiven yourself for your mistakes and your failures. Or it can add a whole new sense of urgency to your life. After all, you're not dead yet. You get to make a conscious decision about how you want to live the second half of your life. That's when your evaluation can be a wonderful motivator. Now it's time to go after the things that you didn't go after when you were younger. And you won't be surprised by your own weaknesses or vulnerabilities. You know them well. So use them to your advantage and make the next part of your life even better. How cool is that?